strange, isolated group of polar bears found in southeastern Greenland. Researchers identified a previously unknown population of polar bears living in isolation in southeastern Greenland. Bears hunt seals in fjords, on freshwater ice shelves, not on fast-moving sea ice like other polar bears. A new report in the journal Science describes the population, which now takes the total number of known polar bear groups from 19 to 20. Scientists know some polar bears may be in the field based on historical records and knowledge from local Arctic communities, and most eventually they can ensure that it is a distinct population. The group consists of several hundred bears, with females usually smaller than the rest of the population. The polar bear in southeast Greenland is the most genetically isolated polar bear on the planet. They differ from the other 19 polar bear subpopulations in the Arctic and more distinct from neighboring subpopulations than any other pair, said Christine Leedry, polar scientist at the University of Washington and lead author of the study. Scientists have worked for years to establish a research site in Greenland, collared bears, and observe them to ascertain their adaptability and isolation. Leedry said the new groups followed from 2015 to 2021. Elizabeth Peacock, an assistant professor at Emory University School of Medicine and an expert on polar bears, wrote a promising article to accompany Leedry's research in the journal Science. She explains that several online publications have suggested that this isolated group of bears may be a thriving population because they found new ways to hunt. But Peacock wasn't sure if that was the case. Plasticity usually refers to someone having the ability to adopt different behaviors, so I can figure out how to kill a walrus or how to catch a fish, she said. Natural selection is about adapting over time, which means polar bears have had enough time to change their behavior in response to natural selection. Unfortunately, the effects of climate change are happening faster than many polar bears can reproduce. Peacock points to other polar bear populations that are known to exhibit signs of plasticity, such as nesting outside of declining sea ice or hunting a variety of prey species when the seal diet they normally eat is lacking. It is questionable whether glacier hunting will also be possible in the future as the ice melts at both poles. Generations of polar bears are about 10 years old, but climate change is affecting the ice much more quickly. Researchers are concerned that this new behavior cannot be transmitted as the climate crisis is rapidly depleting Arctic ice. We don't know if they are thriving. We don't know if the population is stable or in need. That will require more research, Leedry said. To really determine how these populations are dealing with climate change, scientists will need to study the survival of adult female polar bears by tagging and studying them for 3 or 4 years. Glacial ice may help small number of polar bears survive prolonged periods of global warming and may be important for species resilience, meaning preventing extinction. But it's not available for most polar bears, she said. Future sightings of this bear could tell us a bit more about the future of this species. Thanks.